And welcome, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here tonight. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation, mostly a one-sided conversation, but I'm anxious to see your comments in the chat, your responses, and I'm really anxious to get your feedback. So as a coach, entrepreneur, and a true believer in the incredible power within each one of us, I am thrilled to welcome you on this journey of self-discovery and transformation. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. So I'm going to get set up right now to do that. I'm going to hit share screen and share the screen. And hopefully that means you're going to be able to see the screen. I'm just going to get the chat lined up so that I can see it as well. Let me see. Now, if you can see the screen, maybe just put a yes in the comments, just so that I know that we've got this working right. And we get people admitted. Admit all. And I'm getting the chat over here. There we go. Yes, perfect. Amy says we can see it. Stacy says we can see it. Excellent. And now I just have to make sure that I'm getting my waiting room people admitted. I think this works better when you have a lot of people helping you. So, are you ready to unlock your power? In a world that's constantly evolving, it's essential to nurture the best versions of ourselves. Tonight, on our quest to build a better you, we'll explore the incredible power of your mind, the magic of resilience, and the science of unlocking your true potential. My goal is that you will leave this evening empowered to power up your personal potential, your positivity, your productivity, and as a result, your prosperity. So, are you ready? Let's go. Many of us think we're pretty positive, or we think, I'd like to be just a bit more positive. And as I thought through some of my ways of speaking, I realized I still have work to do on my words. What we say is a reflection of what's inside of us. Perhaps even more important is how we actually are speaking to ourselves. So as you read these comparisons, A to B, which mode do you notice you're in? Which words are familiar to you? Maybe some of each. If you think it's more A, drop an A in the comments. If you think it's more B, drop a B in the comments. Or maybe it's some of each. Maybe you're an AB or a BA. The way we speak not only indicates our mode, it also, like a thermostat, determines, creates, and controls the mode we are in. Changing your language and changing your mode changes your perception of circumstances, and then the circumstances themselves. Change your language, change your life. How much more simple could it be? How we speak is one of the most fundamental elements of being happy, becoming pathologically positive, creating and living the life we love. George Orwell once said that if thought corrupts language, then language can also corrupt thought. He's right. It's also true that if thought enhances language, language can also enhance thought. And if it can enhance thought, it can enhance life. Maybe it could even save a life. So, power up number one is all about the words we say. My encouragement to you for your first power up is in your notes, in your phone, wherever you keep notes, write down just one phrase that you're going to think about shifting this coming week to the positive option. Whichever one speaks to you, or whichever one you actually become aware that you're saying. It may surprise you, the difference that it will make. I'm going to share a tool that will unlock your positivity potential. This comes from the work of psychologist Dr. Paul Jenkins in his book, Pathological Positivity. It's available on Amazon, and he also has a YouTube channel, which is sitting at something like 27 million views. So the model starts with, we think about where we are today. What's our starting point? This is reality. The phrase, "it is what it is," comes to mind. And because we're human, we immediately start to judge what it is. Now, I was a very slow learner in this concept. I spent months a few years ago focusing on being non-judgmental, as if it was something to get rid of. Only recently have I become grateful for my ability to judge. We as humans are made to judge. It's what keeps us safe. Do we have time to cross the street or pull out in this lane of traffic? However, sometimes we are judging from an old belief or a perspective that no longer serves us. So, beginning from where we are, we may wish it was better. That's the comparison game. Or we may realize it could be worse. So, being from Saskatchewan and having endured, survived, enjoyed many Saskatchewan winters, I'm going to use the weather as an example. So, you wake up, it's minus 30 on your thermometer. What are your thoughts? Remember, minus 30, it is what it is. All right, that's where we are. Now, the next steps are, what are your thoughts? Can you think of how it could be better? So if you can think of some ways that minus 30 as a number on the thermometer, drop some better thoughts in the chat. What could come to mind that it could be better? No mosquitoes. Oh, I love that. Janelle, that's perfect. Jimmy, at least I have a warm house. Beautiful. No, actually, sorry. You girls, now that's so funny. You girls are so, so interesting. Because no mosquitoes could be positive or negative, right? Because no mosquitoes really means it could be worse. At least I have a warm house. That means it could be worse. So isn't that interesting what you're thinking of? So some of the feelings about it could be better, could be, I could be in Mexico. That would be better. What you think about first gives an indication of what direction you're going. Because when we think about those things that could be better, like, I wish I could be in Mexico, or I wish we could have a garage and the car would be warm, or I wish it would be spring, we start feeling sad, maybe even hopeless. And the amount of time that we invest in this thinking determines the level of feelings we create. And I'm so excited. The people that commented all commented about things that could be worse and what they're grateful for. So they're thinking about gratitude. There's no mosquitoes. We're grateful, right? At least I have a warm house. Could be worse. Time for hot tub. Yes. Snow day. Yes. These are actually moving into creative thinking. So we can choose our thoughts, even when what is would normally seem bad to some people. We can honestly say what is good because we can always imagine something worse, thereby making what is look good by comparison. Because of this perception that it can be considered good, we feel gratitude, even in the midst of apparent disaster. So one of the examples is someone fell, they broke an ankle. And when you hear about it, you're like, oh man, it sure would have been better if they hadn't broke anything, right? But maybe we're grateful because they could have broken both ankles. So it's so interesting how our perception moves us from one side to the other, from the what it is, based on our evaluation. So your next Power Up challenge is to write 10 things you're grateful for, this gratitude side. Now, 5 of them can be easy stuff like running water or a car that starts. But I'd encourage you to choose half of your list from the hard things, the things that at first moment maybe seem to be not easy to be grateful for. So this morning I was thinking about a few of the things that maybe were harder. And of course, what came to mind, my oldest grandchild is moving into her dorm today, living away from home for the first time. She's a province away. There's lots of feelings. They come from both sides. You know, what ifs? It would be so much better if there were more family in that city, if it was closer to home, if we had no winter here and the roads would always be safe for her to drive on. You can see where this can all go. Remember, all your feelings are valid. All the feelings are real. So what I'd like to offer then are some additional thoughts that you could choose to consider. Or not, totally up to you. Thoughts like appreciation for her maturity, gratitude that she's open to conversations with wise mentors, recognition of her driving skill. And I can find examples of all these too. And thinking about these things lets me feel the gratitude that then opens my mind to creative ideas. Janelle says, so thankful to be able to flip the script on finding sewage backup in my basement. Yes, definitely what it is, sewage backup. Definitely could have been better. No sewage backup. Certainly could be worse. And you can imagine all the worse potential. So this opening up of gratitude powers us up really to that creativity. That creativity allows us the feeling of hope. We can think of ideas then to move what is to what will be better. So back to that weather example that we started with at the beginning, that -30, and we look out and the sun is shining. It may get warmer today. That's a hope, right? Or the creativity allows me to remember that I have this project that I've just kind of had sitting, waiting, and today is the perfect day for it. Again, creativity. Or we can choose the worst side and think, but what if the wind gets up? What if the truck won't start? In actual fact, nothing changed in that few moments that we went through all those thoughts. But our thoughts have taken us on a journey. We feel either hopeful or anxious. The good news, we are in control of our thoughts. We can choose. We can create what it is to be. Creation is fueled by discontent. We as humans are made to be creative and to vision things that are better for ourselves, for the world. It's the fuel that fires all inventions, all new ideas, all man-made beauty around us. Pain or discontent serves us well. It's there for a reason. So just like pain tells us to remove our hand from a hot stove, discontent calls our attention to what is out of balance. It's missing or otherwise needs our creative attention. We feel creative discontent. We imagine and create something better. Life is good. Appreciating the good in what is, then anticipating an even greater good in what is to be, brings us good feelings immediately. So it's accessible to us at any time because we have the power of our thoughts. As we evaluate and create constructively and intentionally, our life makes more sense. We feel in control, like agents rather than victims, even in tough situations. So rather than mindlessly meddling in messes and making them messier, we direct our creative power toward the productive and beautiful. We build things of intrinsic worth and beauty. We acknowledge the value in what is and create new value moving forward for ourselves and others. There's a little strategy that powers up this creative process called Better by 8. It is consciously choosing twice a day, because there's 2 8s, to do something to make your life better by 8. And it begins with the fractional shift to develop habits that will serve you, not enslave you. So, what can you do that will make your life better by 8? I would love it if you shared in the chat one thing that you can think of right now to make your life better by 8. And while you're sharing that, if what I'm sharing here is valuable to you, I will be offering a webinar later this month sharing what I have learned about resilience. And I will add the registration link to the chat if that is something that is of interest to you. So the creation process anticipates, requires, and is initiated by that first step, discontent. We satisfy our discontent by manifesting that which we have chosen to create. We judge and evaluate options. We get curious about possible solutions. We plan how to mitigate potential obstacles. And we work constructively on the solutions that we've intentionally chosen. Our thoughts and ideas, therefore, manifest into reality. We take control of our lives by intentionally steering the process from evaluation to creation. And I love the Better by 8 ideas that are coming up in the chat. Christina says, I'll be more rested. Perfect. Jimmy's finishing a task, a small task. Absolutely. One small thing. Janelle, I joined this Zoom. Perfect. So in our model, we've examined different elements of 2 processes. The first process, evaluation of what is, and the second process is creation of what is to be. We do both constantly, often at the same time. It's in our very nature to do so. We evaluate our circumstances, our lives, ourselves, and imagine how it could be different. This positivity model gifts us with power-ups that we can choose to use anytime in any circumstance. Are you feeling resistance? That's okay. These practices will nudge you out of your comfort zone a bit. That's good. It means you're on the right track. So I promised you effective and proven power-up tips. If you embrace these and become intentional in activating them, I guarantee they will power up your personal potential, your positivity, your productivity, and as a result, your prosperity. So let's review, and then I'll open this up for questions and comments. First, become aware of which mode you're in. What words come out of your mouth? Positive phrases or negative? I saw lots of you in the chat saying both sides, both A and B. Do you remember the challenge? Yeah. Pick one to focus on this week. Become aware, notice, and notice how you can turn the phrase around. Secondly, find the gratitude. Gratitude challenge, make that gratitude list of 10 things. half need to be the hard. And it's the hard that's really going to power up your positivity the quickest. If you do these practices every day for 30 days, you will be shocked at how quickly you will power up your positivity. Better by 8. What can you do before 8 to make your life better? And number 4, allow discontent to power you. Write down those things that you are discontented about. Choose one to get you started on your personal power up journey. So I'm coming back to the gallery. I want to thank everyone that's here. I'm really, really excited to see so many of you, and I'd love to see your faces live if that's possible for you right now. I love seeing Janelle's face smile. Hi, Christina. It's great you're here. Hi, Therese. Yes. Oh, Stacy, better by 8. Clean the kitchen before bed. Good girl. Now that's a kick in my get going. Hi, Jimmy. So are there any questions or comments that you have? And if you want to, just stick your hand up and unmute your mic and go ahead and ask. Or ask in the chat.
I have a question.
Yes.
I have the turn around your phrases. I don't know if that's gratitude, 10 things to be grateful for daily.
Yeah.
Better by 8, but I thought there was something else you said, but maybe
So yes, the last one I said was, think about the things that you're discontented about. Write a list of the things that bring discontent. And then from that list, choose one to think about how it can power you up to a more positive place. What creativity can you bring to that area of discontent? Am I explaining that clearly, Jimmy?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Any other? Therese, good job. She's on her treadmill. I can tell. She's going to be better by 8 in the morning. She's on it. Are there any other questions? If not, I really want to thank you all for coming. I am going to send you a link to the recording following for all those that registered. And I'm so, so happy you're here. If you're interested, if this is of value, I'd love if you registered for the next webinar, the next masterclass, which is going to be September 27th at 8 p.m. And the Zoom link registration will be the same system as this one was. So have a wonderful evening, everybody, and good night.